Hey, what's up everyone? Paul from Grindhouse Funhouse, and today I salute the welcome return of Eddie Murphy at what he does best, being funny, in a review of Dolemite Is My Name. Eddie plays Rudy Ray Moore, a singer, dancer, nightclub comedian, sometimes even preaching the good word in churches, who started his career in the mid-50s and chugged along through the 60s. He joined the army and served in an entertainment unit in Germany while still releasing a few R&B songs and comedy albums along the way. In comes the 70s when Rudy was still doing his thing as a nightclub comedian, when he got a sudden spurt of inspiration and created his alter ego Dolemite. Based on rhyming routines he heard from a homeless man named Rico that would periodically show up at Dolphins of Hollywood, which is a record store Rudy worked at the time, telling tales of a pimp and hustler named Dolemite, boasting of his fighting skills and explicit sexual adventures. Moore takes this all in, changes around a few things to make it more current for the times, brings that character on a nightclub stage and becomes an instant hit. A few self-made bootleg comedy albums are released that are quite successful, and from that brings his Dolemite act on the road to make ends meet. After Moore and his friends go see The Front Page, a comedy starring Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau, and found absolutely nothing funny about it, a spurt of inspiration hits Rudy once again by realizing that if he wants to reach a bigger audience, that he should make a movie out of Dolemite, even though he doesn't know the first thing about making films. So he takes over the rundown Dunbar Hotel in downtown LA, cleans it up, and turns it into his film studio, hires UCLA film student as the crew, his group of friends as the cast, and D'Urville Martin, an already established and successful actor in Blaxploitation movies, as the director, and wackiness ensues. First of all, I want to say this is hands down my favorite movie of 2019. I mean, already being a huge fan of the Blaxploitation genre, and having seen all the Rudy Ray Moore movies of that era, obviously I was already sold on the subject matter from the jump, but regardless of that, on its own, the movie is damn funny and has a root for the underdog story that is hard to resist. Directed by Craig Brewer, who was behind Hustle and Flow, Black Snake Moan, and the upcoming Coming to America sequel, it has great pacing, never drags. The production design and art direction is top-notch. The music, all the costumes done by Academy Award winner Ruth E. Carter. She won for Black Panther. The attention to details to recreate that era, you can tell this was made by people in love with that time period. It's written by Scott Alexander and Larry Karaszewski, who wrote a very similar story for 1994's Tim Burton's Ed Wood, his best work, The People vs. Larry Flint, and Man on the Moon. They have an act for writing underdog characters who really believe in themselves, even though the world around them doesn't, and somehow create cinematic gems out of those stories. I guess people are calling this the second comeback of Eddie Murphy's career. First one being Dreamgirls back in 2006, which I haven't seen, nor do I care to. But I'm happy he found his groove back for this. Last time I truly enjoyed Eddie's work was 20 years ago in the Frank Oz comedy Bowfinger. Check it out if you haven't seen it, which has a similar storyline in that a ragtag crew of people trying to make a movie out of nothing and somehow succeeding on their own terms. But here we get the R-rated Eddie Murphy, who just lets it all out in all its foul-mouthed glory. Hopefully from now on it'll steer clear of family movies. He's done quite enough, and give us more of this. And this was Eddie's first time playing a real person, and obviously a hero of his. And as you can see, Eddie looks and sounds nothing like Rudy Ray Moore, but he does imbue his spirit, and you totally go along with it. Other casting highlights, seeing Wesley Snipes bring his A-game on the screen once again. So nice seeing him being out of movie jail after being out of the real kind was also a treat. Playing a pompous, slightly effeminate, possibly coked out version of D'Urville Martin, you could tell he was savoring speaking every bit of dialogue he was delivering on screen. Snoop D-O-double-G, who has only 2 scenes in the movie but pretty funny ones, was cool to see. Snoop's been a lifelong fan of Rudy Ray Moore. Rudy appeared in his 1994 video for Doggy Dog World. Keegan-Michael as the militant screenwriter trying to bring resonance and true street life to the script was well cast. And Divine Joy Randolph playing Lady Reed, Rudy Ray Moore's protege, who's got the biggest female voice in the movie, was quite excellent in her role, and I see big things happening for her after this. What I less dug about Dolemite Is My Name, and those are just minor quibbles, is that it can be a bit sentimental at times, which I'm sure in real life wasn't the case, but it's to present Rudy Ray Moore in the best light, which is not a bad thing, and we learn next to nothing about his private life. Aside from father issues, this is pretty much just seeing the journey up to releasing Dolemite in theaters. If this hits it big and Netflix decides to pony up the money again, there's definitely potential for a sequel where it could be a mashup of what happened on Dolemite's sequel, The Human Tornado, or P.D. Wheatstraw, or Disco Godfather. I'd definitely show up for that. So, should you go see Dolemite Is My Name right now in theaters and then stream it on Netflix starting October 25th over and over again? Abso-fucking-lutely. Eddie Murphy's never been better. I could have easily watched another 2 hours of this great ensemble cast that just brought their A game. I was grinning from ear to ear the whole time I was watching it, and it is a feel-good movie in every sense of the word, and a very satisfying one at that. So that's my review for Dolemite Is My Name. Please like, share, and subscribe. Click on that tiny little bell to never miss a new video. Check out my Instagram feed at Grindhouse Funhouse, where I post on the daily about all things cult and underground cinema, B-movies from the 70s, 80s, and 90s of cheesy, glorious fun. This is what you'll get. If you're curious to see those Rudy Ray Moore movies, Dolemite, The Human Tornado, P.D. Wheatstraw, and Disco Godfather, Vinegar Syndrome, a couple of years ago, released them all on glorious Blu-rays. So go check that out. In the comment section below, let me know what your thoughts on Dolemite Is My Name. Did you dig it as much as I did? Also, I'll be adding 2 new videos at the end of this video. Link them up. They will be about Blaxploitation movies that are in my collection, and also vinyl soundtracks of that sweet, sweet soul music you hear in those movies. So if you want to know more about that genre of films, those videos will be there and you can check them out. Thank you for watching. More reviews of films coming soon. And
put your weight on it! Put your weight on it! Put your weight on it!